Hi, I'm Charlotte Walter, Amazon best-selling author and Barrier Breakthrough Coach, and thank you for joining me in this Walking in Self-Mastery series. This is video 12 in this Walking in Self-Mastery series and is entitled Co-Creating an Abundant Life, or stated another way, Co-Creating Your Reality. Now, in the interest of clarity, I've decided, contrary to what I said in the previous video, video 11, to present some explanatory comments on the rationale behind the structure and components for the meditations which follow in video 13. Here, I'm going to tell you what this co-creation process is, why it's so important, and why it works so often, and how it's done. Certainly it doesn't work every time. We're all unique. Now here's a metaphor that I hope helps you to visually understand what we're doing. In your mind's eye, see yourself standing in a lovely sunlit meadow, and to your left is a pool of toxic, dammed up water. It's smelly and dirty and contaminated with gunk floating on the top. To your right is a sparkling, clear, babbling brook that is merrily flowing downstream. It even seems to sing, if you listen carefully, as it flows on its journey. What the meditations and processes do is identify the negative energy which is stuck within you, like this toxic water, which prevents you from freely living the life of your dreams or living up to your full potential creatively. Now, this toxic pool of water represents all your unexpressed negative emotions that have been resisted, denied, suppressed ad nauseum. These are largely ego messages of fear, doubt, guilt, and anxiety, which paper over layer after layer the beautiful being that you are. That is love. You're clear, you're joyful and creative. The processes and meditations begin to loosen up the dammed up negative energies within you. It's akin to poking a hole in the dammed up toxic water, allowing some of the water to flow. This journey in self-mastery is an advancement of your consciousness. In fact, it's moving you into the new consciousness that the earth is shifting into. For more on that, please refer to my book, The Shift Has Hit the Fan, which is available on Amazon.com. This is a shift of your focus from your outer world to your inner world as you create your own reality. In other words, it is no longer a mind-brain game, but a shift of your focus inward. It's akin to an exploration of your consciousness and your energy system. What this whole co-creating process is a journey of self-acceptance and allowing what is in the moment. Fully allowing yourself and the moment to be just as you are and it is. No denial or resistance, just full, heartfelt acceptance of you, just as you are, warts and all, just in this moment. What will this get you? Well, as you practice this process, somewhere along the road, you may notice that you're moving into unconditional love of self. What? You will realize more self-compassion and self-forgiveness, and as you do, you will be able to more effortlessly let go of the past and guilt, because they begin to weaken through practicing the process little by little, at least for some of you. You'll begin to have those moments or flashes of self-compassion, unconditional self-love. And as they grow in frequency and power, you will find that you begin to see and feel the world differently as well. What does this have to do with co-creating and self-mastery? As your inner world begins to feel better, your outer world will reflect this energetic state, bringing you like-kind conditions and events that are a vibrational frequency match to what you're emitting. Or put another way, conditions and events that match your hopes, wishes, and dreams. Whoa, now we're getting somewhere. Now, why have I used the word co-creating instead of just the word creating in the title here? Because in this new energy, this new consciousness, it is a key ingredient to manifesting abundance in all its forms. It emphasizes the importance of calling upon and surrendering to the higher realms for assistance in all that you co-create, because without doing so, you are coming from ego mind, which is weak and temporary, and which is what brought you to this moment anyway. And the good news is that in this energy shift we're experiencing, help from the higher realms is so much more available because of the thinning of the veil than previously. To truly create your own reality, co-creation is the order of the day. Why not call upon the help from the higher realms, which are standing by to serve you anyway, awaiting your beck and call? But more on this later. The absolute best news of all is that you are the solution. That's what I love so much about coaching, is watching the process of self-revelation unfold. I don't have any answers for my clients, but they do. I'm the catalyst to get it going. My job is to help people who are committed to making big changes in their life or who want to achieve major results in their journey to self-realization, to break through their barriers so that they can operate at their highest potential. For those clients who are truly committed to finding solutions in the coaching process, we use meditations, among other things, as a power tool to access the doorway to the subconscious. This is where the magic happens and the rubber meets the road. Why meditation? Because it is essential to quiet your mind, to be in a calm state so that you can listen to your inner presence, to your inner voice, and to reach the subconscious mind, which is hardwired in your brain's neural pathways. The key is regularly meditating to build up the all-important momentum to rewiring the brain or the subconscious. I have clients who have awakened depressed every day for years, even much of their lifetime, and are slowly finding their way back to feeling empowered and optimistic. Think about that shift. Video 13 pulls all the previous video components together to demonstrate what you can do to break through your self-created barriers that are holding you back, so that you too can live in greater freedom and more abundantly. It is my intention that you're not just treating the symptoms here, but getting at the root causes of your barrier constructions. Here are the basic barriers to co-creating your reality and your abundant life. Barrier 1, resistance or fear of change and the unknown or the future. In clients who have experienced minimal progress, and even though they're leading a mediocre life and long to break out of it, their resistance or fear keeps them stuck. They simply won't let go long enough to look at and acknowledge their barriers or fears. This is the unfinished business that keeps them shackled to mediocrity. Barrier 2. Lack of full intentional commitment to the co-creative process and to change. This failure means they're really just continuing life as usual. They're giving it their mental attention, but not a heartfelt commitment, resulting in mental gymnastics. Nothing really changes. Barrier 3. Failure to ground and center yourself as you begin your meditations. The balancing of the feminine masculine energy is primary, but more on this later because we do this in meditations. Barrier 4. Failure to move out of the ego mind into your feeling center, your heart center, your body. Feelings are the power and energy of change. Barrier 5. Lack of momentum due to failure to practice regularly a few minutes of meditation several times a week. Intermittent attempts are very weak and produce very few results, if any. Barrier 6. Failure to call upon and surrender to the higher realms for assistance. Ego's been in charge up till now, and look at how limited and even impotent it can be at times. Try something new. Look to the heavens first. Move into the light. Yes. Barrier 7. Lack of faith and trust in the co-creative process and your efforts. Should your faith falter, return to the meditation, reaffirming your faith and trust, and keep doing it until you are the soul of faith and trust. Barrier 8. Failure to claim the desired results from a deep and heartfelt gratitude over and over, such as, and it is so, and I claim it, and so it is. Now, why does this co-creative process work for so many? Because from a meditative state, a quiet mind ego, you begin to rewire your hardwired brain's neural networks, which are subconsciously driving you and your life like 95% of the time, according to social scientists. Believe it or not. Video 13 has 2 meditations which demonstrate or illustrate what you can do to accelerate your walk in self-mastery and to manifesting your desires. These are meditations that I have used in my coaching practice and which have, in some cases, brought about dramatic results. Now here's one testimonial. A year ago, I constantly lived in fear and felt a victim to life's circumstance. Spending an hour a week coaching with Shar and practicing in the time in between completely flipped my life over in the best way possible. K.E. Thank you, K.E. Another client says, in the past, my negative victim feeling seemed stuck and would last for months. I would cry myself to sleep, thinking nothing is going right. I would cry in the middle of the day at work due to being overwhelmed. Now, they don't last long, and the breathing exercises help tremendously. Thank you, KS. And here's another. Since I started the coaching sessions with Shar, I'm more accepting of me. It's okay now to be who I am. This shift has been huge. Thank you, GC. And think about that. I can't guarantee this will happen for you, though, because each of us is unique in our personal vibrational signature. To further illustrate, Let's say that you live with a belief in lack, such as lack of health and or wealth, and everything you've tried till now has produced very little progress, if any. What the meditations hold the potential of is to move that stuck energy or belief in lack, for example, that is a barrier to you expanding into co-creating a more abundant life. The bottom line here is that your history needs to be accepted, forgiven, and released. And that's what you'll be doing, hopefully, moving that energy. Now, how is this done? Now, as a refresher, I want to review for a moment video 3 of the previous 11 videos in this series, which is entitled How the Universe Works, all about energy. In it, I talk about how we're influencing the field or grid that we live in by the energy shifts we're making during meditation, which in turn then shifts our personal vibrational frequency, hopefully moving it higher. This is where we begin to rewire our neural networks and even possibly our DNA, if taken far enough. Who knew? Think of it as living in your own bubble or universe. And you are creating the energy that surrounds you by the vibrations going out from what you think and feel. The field or bubble amplifies what you're vibrating and reflects it back to you. The field or the bubble then activates your outer and inner conditions. The goal here is to change the message or vibration you're sending out to your bubble or field. When people change energetically through feelings, matter or form follows, which is the outside world. And that's what our goal is. And to do so, we must begin by influencing the bubble or grid, by harmonizing with whatever negative energy of belief you wish to let go of or change. Now, this may seem counterintuitive, so stay with me. Remember, your previous efforts haven't worked, or you wouldn't be watching this video. Harmony through compassion and love transforms. I've had clients ask what harmonizing means, so just stay with me and it'll become clear. If not, contact me, Shar at thedimensionalshift.com, and we'll talk about it. So before you begin each meditation, set your intention to harmonize with what is, that is, your heavy, dark energy. For example, in meditation 1, I have chosen the concept of guilt because guilt forms a shadow self which overlays and restricts all efforts of creating your reality. In other words, as you harmonize or allow and accept this negative and heavy energy, you bring your whole being into alignment, and your body, mind, and soul become one coherent, vibrating energy, because the energy of allowing and accepting is a benevolent and harmonious energy. This in turn creates a powerful place or platform from which to shift your energy in the field during the meditations. Here's an example of how this can work. I heard or read somewhere a myth that illustrates this so perfectly. Here we go. Once upon a time, the villagers in a valley were suffering mightily from a prolonged drought. They had prayed for rain, performed rain dances and ceremonies, and so on, all to no avail. One day, the villagers noticed a monk walk into the village and take up residency on the edge of town. Within a couple of days, you guessed it, the rain began to fall. The villagers were stunned and thrilled. and made the connection of the monk's presence and the rain. So they rushed to him and asked, "What prayer did you use? What dance did you use to bring the rain?" He replied placidly, "I didn't pray for rain, but I did harmonize with the drought." The point here is that creating harmony removes blocks of resistance in the present circumstances. Thus, as the blocks of energy weaken through the alignment and coherent process, the negative energy begins to move, making space for benevolent energy to flow in and replace it. Why? Because well-being and benevolence is your natural state of being. It's been there right along and is still there, but papered over by ego-created false beliefs that have dominated and controlled you up till now, for the most part. Remember, it's up to you to practice this process to achieve the results you so desire. Listen closely. Momentum is everything to rebuilding how you think and feel. Practice the meditations, either those provided in video 13 or those that you've created, but practice. To summarize, step 1 is to set your intention to harmonize with whatever difficult circumstance you have chosen. This means accepting it. This process releases resistance to what is. You could say that in the process, you are detaching emotionally from the negative situation that is creating the heavy energy within you. In other words, it's in you anyway. Accept it. We can use laser energy as a metaphor to understand how this works. When you meditate, accepting and allowing what is, your goal is to relax and get out of your mind and into your feelings or body to the point that you are creating a coherence of heart, mind, body, and spirit. Now, this must be a heartfelt and full physical relaxation. In other words, you must feel it. Dawson Church explains why this is so powerful in his book entitled Mind to Matter. He points out that a laser beam of 60 watts is coherent energy because its light waves flow parallel to each other versus a 60-watt incandescent light bulb whose energy goes off in random directions. The difference is, because of its coherent energy, a laser beam of coherent 60-watt energy can cut through steel. Your goal is to become laser light in your commitment to shifting your vibrational frequency. This dramatizes why it's so important for us to harmonize our heart, body, mind, and spirit with present circumstances, thus creating coherent energy to what is. We are then in alignment with the moment. And meditation is one of the most powerful ways I know of to create this coherent energy. In this energetic state, you have an easy acceptance of one energy, such as guilt, and a gentle move towards another energy, such as harmony, love, and light. Harmonious feelings are the power behind moving your stuck negative energy or barriers and to manifesting the abundance you so long for and desire. This delightful nourishment that is gratitude and appreciation of what is now relaxes your cells, which are holding onto all that toxic and negative energy born out of this unwanted situation. Step 2 is to call upon and surrender to the higher realms for assistance in this process. Feel heartfelt gratitude for receiving assistance. Before, during, and after meditation, give thanks for assistance and guidance from your higher realms, from your angels. Remember that it is in your heart center where the magic happens during the meditation. If you find that you're having little success, it may be because you're still coming from your mind ego. This is how we've been conditioned to live for eons of time. Ego is just mental gymnastics, as I've said, and is temporary and weak. This is about moving into oneness with the light of spirit and love. It's all about getting out of your mind and into your heart feeling center, because this is how you connect to spirit and your higher self. Now, this can be misleading a little because obviously we need both the mind and the heart. Where we've been conditioned and gotten stuck is operating out of the ego mind most of the time. The co-creating process we have here is bringing back a balance of using both in the co-creating process and manifestation process. Also, you must be patient. Remember, it took you a lifetime to get where you are. It's going to take some practice to shift out of it. Now, put this all together by watching video 13. Thank you for joining me here. And if you have any questions at all about this process, I'm sure many of you will, contact me at char@thedimensionalshift.com or learn more about me on my website, thedimensionalshift.com. It's been an absolute joy and privilege to bring you this knowledge and wisdom and process of co-creating your reality as you are walking in self-mastery. So, open up your heart now to receive the blessings and joy of your journey of walking in self-mastery. And remember, freedom, joy, peace, and divine love ride on the wings of angels. So get on board and let your little light shine. And so it is, and so it is. Thank you. Blessings.